Saw some white-haired humanoid with a friend. This happened in maybe 2015-ish, in Ohio. I would be 16 at the time. My friend and I were walking home from a local park, on the side of a somewhat busy street. Suddenly, I saw a glimpse of something sprint across the road and over the guardrail ahead of us. The other side of the guardrail is a steep hill and densely wooded area. He asked me if I saw that, and I was even more creeped out. He saw it too, and we both described almost exactly the same. It looked bipedal but seemed to be running on all fours, had what looked like grayish white hair all over its body, and was fast as hell. We got up to where it would have been on the road and saw nothing on the hill or in the woods down below. We kept looking around but saw no sign of anything, before we just agreed that it was really weird and kept walking. Signs from the universe. Years ago, maybe 2013 or so, I was walking with a close friend down the sidewalk of a side street in his neighborhood, and we were gossiping about 3 people that we know that all live together. Let's call them Sarah, Victoria, and Josh. So we're walking along, talking about some senseless drama, when by chance I looked down at the sidewalk. There, written in the cement by someone years prior, was Sarah, Victoria, Josh. Sarah was spelled with the missing H, but I was so creeped out. I pointed it out to my friend to make sure that someone else saw it so that I could confirm I wasn't imagining it. Still can't really make sense of the coincidence to this day. What are the odds? Small thin man. This happened a while ago, so the details might be blurry. When I was a teenager living in Arizona, USA, about 2013, I was walking down a dirt road with a friend. There wasn't much light except for the lantern I was holding and the streetlight in the distance. As we were walking back to the house, I saw a silhouette of this creature, about 3 feet tall and very thin, walking across the road on 2 legs, about 20 feet away from us in front of the streetlight. We both stopped and he said, "You saw that too, right?" Originally we thought it was the shadow from the lantern, but retracing our steps we weren't able to replicate it. We checked out the area where we saw it walk. There was a drainage pipe in the direction it was walking. To this day I still have no idea what that was. Something mimicked my daughter clear as day. Hi. Here's a quick incident that happened just a few moments ago and got me freaked out. It's a quiet Sunday afternoon and I'm slowly cleaning the kitchen. It's surprisingly quiet outside, as typically, when it's nice out, the neighborhood kids are running around and being rambunctious as they usually do. I'm enjoying the quiet and finish up loading the dishwasher and decide to go outside for a smoke. I'm putting my flip-flops on and head for the front door. I open the door and hear a very, very distinct "Ma." When my daughter is looking for me around the house, she'll say "Ma," with a distinct tone of voice and inflection that I'd recognize anywhere. It came from the back door that leads into the yard. It spooked me because I know she's away at her father's house until after dinner today. She called me about 10 seconds after I heard it though. Proper spooked today. Thanks for reading. Strange coincidence. A few weeks ago, my husband and I were talking about how one shouldn't whistle at night because of indigenous people's folklore, particularly in North America. I love the paranormal and supernatural, so I enjoy listening to those type of stories via podcasts, Reddit, etc. I'm not Native American, Asian American, but I appreciate the culture and history. Today we went hiking and I brought it up again. It was the afternoon. I asked if it was all right to use an emergency whistle. My husband didn't see anything wrong with that. I was being serious and genuinely curious about what would happen if someone used one. We went to the mall afterwards and decided to go inside the Barnes & Noble because we're both bookworms. Guess what was one of the books I first saw? I've attached a photo. Strange person at my fence. I was once walking home alone one night after a visit to my mother, and when I arrived home I saw a man wearing all black with a hat near my fence, and he was looking down to the ground. Of course I approached the man and I asked why he's so close to my fence. Then he turns around and he's wearing sunglasses, and that's weird, you know, because it's night. All he says to me is, "Make sure to lock those doors and windows tonight." Of course I was absolutely horrified after hearing this, and he just manically laughs and skips. Yes. Skips away from my fence. I wanted to call the cops, but I didn't think he did enough to have him arrested. Later that night nothing did happen luckily, but all in all it was so king strange. The girl likes skipping to him wearing sunglasses when it's night. One of the scariest moments of my life. Sugar Hill Cemetery that I lived beside snapping moon pics last month, thoughts referring to the female image in white dress. Taken with my iPhone 14, first pic was not live for some reason and I noticed some green thing in the sky upper right corner area after looking back through photos, but the second was live. I screenshot each frame of the lady pic and noticed more. A church used to be on this property and mine now where my apt building sits. The fellowship hall on cemetery grounds has now been turned into a brewery, specifically Apparition Brewery. I posted this on a couple other forums, but now that it's a new post I can add more pics with the individual frame shots of pic with what appears to be a young lady in a white dress. I wish could share the actual live iPhone photo here. I was alone and no one was walking around me or in the cemetery at the time. Any thoughts greatly appreciated. Thank you. Folded hands, medium light skin tone. The bizarre case of Nicodemus, Rome, Italy, 1966. On February 26, 1966 in Rome, Italy, postal worker and painter Luciano Gaspari suddenly woke up at 2 a.m. A dazzling light and a voice attracted him to his studio. There he found himself in front of a being about 2 meters tall with a silver suit and helmet, on whose chest he could see a kind of daisy with petals that moved and flashed. The being said that his name was Nicodemus, that he had extraterrestrial origins and that he could materialize at will in a tangible body. In the helmet you could see a transparent window through which Gaspari saw his face that seemed anatomically different from that of a human. His eyes were red and shiny. The witness recognized in the face the shapes that he had painted a few months before in a trance state. Later Gaspari will have other encounters with other beings from various planets in the solar system. Source: Alieni in Italia. The car chasing me. This happened in 2016/2017. I was on the car on a rural street to a nearby city. A white car was behind my car and it continually drove faster, came near me, got slower and kept distance. Then it repeated to get close to my car and kept distance again and over and over. The car never tried to overtake my car. I arrived at the city and parked at the train station, a large parking lot a little bit aside from the train station building. I walked towards the building and noticed the parked white car from before. A man was sitting inside. There wasn't a other person inside, and also he didn't pick somebody up. It felt like, as soon as the man noticed me, he started the car and drove away and it left the same direction I came from. I think about that situation until today and it seems so awkward and strange to me and gives me goosebumps. The creepy man in the playground a few years ago, me and my best friend were just hanging out in our local playground. I was around 11 and she was 13, it was quite no one was there except me and her. When we were chatting all of a sudden we heard the swing squeaking. We looked behind us and we saw this middle-aged scary looking man sitting on the swing. He looked at us and smiled very uneasy. He had this uncanny valley looking smile and said, "Hey girls. Wanna swing thoggeter?" I said, "Oh no thank you sir. Mommy is going to make dinner soon so we're heading home." We were scared so we ran, but then he followed us. We were so scared we ran in a whole another neighborhood. As we headed back to the playground and no one was there. I always feel he's still watching us when we are in that same playground. The daughter: there was a mother who had a daughter. The daughter was obsessed with asking her mom if she was pretty. Every time the mom heard her daughter say this she always replied back saying, "Yes, you are pretty." Weeks later they went into the river. The daughter asked if she was pretty and this sent the mom into a rage. She pushed her daughter into the river and drowned her. She immediately regretted this and called the cops saying that she tripped. Years later, the mom got pregnant. She gave birth to another girl and named her the same name as the daughter. But years later the daughter was staring at herself in the mirror and asked her mom if she was pretty. Her mom replied, "Of course you are." But instead of being happy, the daughter turned around to her mom and said, "If you thought I was so pretty, why did you push me into the river?" The day I died, I didn't see my life flash before my eyes, but yours. I saw you up all night drinking, missing me, and cursing me at times for leaving you. I saw you blame yourself and hurt yourself, and I saw myself cry out to you. But all I could do was watch as you struggled throughout the years, drinking, and shoving needles into your arms. The day I died I saw you join NA, and put all your issues on your sleeve. You stood up to your demons, and fell down constantly. But you also got up, and you never stopped. You got my name on your arm after your 2 years of sobriety, and met someone soon after. You had 2 children, and named one after me. The day I died is the day I gave you life, and I know how hard it will be, but I will be with you until it isn't. The devil in disguise. I honestly don't know if this was real or not, but yesterday I went to sleep and I hear what sounds like a door in my room open and feel someone's getting into bed with me. I felt the bed sink slightly from the weight of whatever or whoever was getting ready to lay beside me. I opened my eyes slightly to see the face of what appeared to be someone, just for it to shift into what looked like a severely wrinkled face. I would say it was sleep paralysis, but later that afternoon my brother had asked if we had heard a scream around 3 in the morning. I'm genuinely finding it hard to grasp if what I experienced was real. The doll. For years I've had this creepy little doll you can buy at a Halloween store. It was a bride dressed in black with tears going down its cheek. There was a voice box in it, so whenever you squeezed its stomach it would say something creepy. There were about 5 different lines if I remember correctly. A few years back I was sleeping in my bed when I woke up to the doll falling off the nightstand. It wasn't near the edge, so I have no idea how it fell, but the voice box went off and said, "There's someone in the closet." I was super freaked out. I got out of bed, turned the lights on and of course checked the closet. Nothing was there. I had trouble falling back to sleep after that. The forgotten ghoul. On this very night, this All Hallows Eve, when the woods are thick with goblins and thieves, I'll slip away to my hidden retreat. On silent, sneaky, invisible feet, cherubic children will nosh on their sweets, all through the village and all through the streets, while high on a hilltop covered in red, my white tombstone target looms yet ahead. Grown men will faint, while women will shudder, once I reveal my terrible plunder. I'll burrow, I'll plow, eating their lovelies. Freshly preserved? I'll dig till they're ugly. These bodies are morsels, mine to scoop up. Their tissues I'll grind, to fill my soup cup. Old or young, I feast on humanity. Stiff and rotting banquets of vanity. Scream. Weep. Shout horrid depravity. But I'm no ghoul. Merely a cavity.